The truth about sleepmaxing, TikTok's newest obsession. Ever been scrolling through TikTok and seen someone taping their mouth shut before bed? Or maybe they're meticulously whipping up a sleepy girl mocktail with what looks like a dozen ingredients. If so, you've probably stumbled into the world of sleepmaxing. It's TikTok's latest obsession, this huge quest for the absolute perfect night's sleep, promising to unlock amazing health and productivity. But here's a wild thought. What if some of these viral hacks, the ones promising you supercharged Z's, are actually doing more harm than good? What if by chasing perfect sleep, we're actually making it worse? We're going to get into what's really going on with sleepmaxing. Are these tricks the key to your best self, or are they just a rabbit hole of iffy information and potential risks? Section 1. What exactly is sleepmaxing? So, what is this sleepmaxing craze that's racking up millions of views on TikTok? At its heart, sleepmaxing is all about optimizing every single tiny aspect of your sleep. We're not just talking about getting your 8 hours. We're talking about trying to biohack your way to the most refreshing, high-quality sleep you can imagine. The trend covers a whole spectrum of stuff. On one end, you've got practices that sound like pretty standard good advice. Making your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet, maybe cutting down on screen time before bed, and sticking to a regular sleep schedule. These are the kinds of things sleep experts have been telling us for years. But then, sleepmaxing takes a turn into more experimental areas. You see influencers and everyday folks trying things like taping their mouths shut to make themselves breathe through their noses, using nostril expanders, or chugging concoctions of supplements like magnesium, melatonin, L-theanine, or even ashwagandha. There are those specific sleepy girl mocktails with tart cherry juice and magnesium powder. People are shelling out for expensive gadgets like fancy sleep trackers, weighted blankets, cooling mattresses, red light therapy devices, and white noise machines. Some people even live stream themselves sleeping. The promise is super tempting. Better immune function, lower risk of chronic diseases, improved mood, sharper thinking, even help with managing weight. And in a world that's more and more clued into how vital sleep is for our general well-being, especially for Gen Z and millennials who are kind of over hustle culture, it's no surprise this trend has absolutely blown up. Wanting better sleep? Totally valid. The real question is, does all of sleepmaxing, every single bit of it, actually deliver on these promises safely? Section 2. The good, when sleepmaxing gets it right. Now, let's be fair. Not everything falling under the sleepmaxing banner is something to worry about. Actually, a good chunk of it is just sleep hygiene, but repackaged. And good sleep hygiene?
That's fantastic. Things like keeping a consistent sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up around the same time every day, even on weekends. That's golden. It really helps regulate your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm, which is totally fundamental for good sleep. Optimizing your sleep environment? Absolutely. A cool, dark, and quiet room is scientifically proven to help you sleep better. So, blackout curtains, eye masks, and keeping the thermostat turned down are genuinely helpful things you often see in sleepmaxing videos. Cutting back on blue light from screens before bed? Yes, please. That blue light messes with melatonin production, the hormone that tells your body it's sleepy time. So putting your phone away an hour or so before hitting the hay is a solid move. Reducing caffeine and alcohol, especially later in the day? Another win. Both are well-known sleep wreckers. Even some of the less conventional, but still somewhat evidence-backed suggestions, like using weighted blankets for anxiety, or trying meditation and relaxation techniques to wind down, can be really helpful for a lot of people. Some research suggests weighted blankets can help with anxiety and insomnia, though they're not a magic fix for everyone. The main idea of prioritizing sleep and recognizing how important it is for health. That's a positive shift in culture. Many of these basic practices, often bundled into the sleepmaxxing trend, are strongly supported by science and recommended by sleep experts. So if sleepmaxxing gets you to focus on these proven basics, then that's definitely a good thing. The trouble starts when the trend pushes past these sensible, evidence-based strategies into more extreme and questionable stuff.
This is where things get a bit murky and honestly, a bit concerning. Let's talk about some of the most popular and potentially problematic sleepmaxxing techniques. First up, mouth taping. This is probably one of the most visible and controversial hacks out there. The claim is that taping your mouth shut forces you to breathe through your nose, which fans say can reduce snoring, stop dry mouth, and even boost your oxygen intake. Now, while nasal breathing is generally better for you, physically taping your mouth shut isn't the way to go about it, especially if you don't know why you might be mouth breathing in the first place. The risks here are pretty significant. For people with undiagnosed sleep apnea, bad nasal congestion, or other breathing issues, mouth taping can actually block airflow, make sleep apnea worse, and potentially lead to lower oxygen levels. It can also irritate the skin around your lips. And just think about it. If you have a cold or allergies, or if you were to have something like acid.
Most sleep experts really don't recommend mouth taping and warn it could be actively harmful. Some studies haven't found strong evidence of any health benefits from mouth taping, directly contradicting what you see on social media. If you're mouth breathing, that's a symptom that needs a doctor's visit, not a problem to be fixed with a bit of tape. Next, let's look at supplement use. TikTok is flooded with recommendations for all sorts of pills and powders to help you sleep. Magnesium, melatonin, L-theanine, valerian root, ashwagandha. The list is long. Magnesium, for instance, is often pushed for relaxation. Melatonin is a hormone your body naturally makes to control sleep. While some of these can be useful sometimes, the way they're often promoted in sleepmaxxing is a problem. Supplements aren't risk-free. They can interact with other medications you might be on. Melatonin, for example, can cause side effects like nausea, dizziness, and headaches. And the quality and dosage can be all over the place in unregulated supplements. One expert pointed out that in Canada, melatonin is treated like a food supplement, and the actual amount in a capsule can range from practically nothing to dangerously high levels. The long-term safety for many of these supplements isn't really known, and there's a risk of becoming psychologically dependent on them. Experts generally say that magnesium is mainly for people with a diagnosed deficiency, and there's not much evidence it helps others with insomnia. Using these without talking to a doctor or stacking a bunch of supplements together is a bit of a gamble. Then there's the obsession with sleep tracking. Wearable devices and apps that monitor your every toss and turn are a huge part of sleepmaxxing. The idea is that by tracking your sleep stages, how long you sleep, and the quality, you can make smart changes to improve it. And sure, to some extent, they can make you more aware of your sleep patterns. But this can seriously backfire. The data from consumer sleep trackers isn't always accurate. More importantly, this constant monitoring can lead to something called orthosomnia, an unhealthy obsession with getting perfect sleep. People start stressing about their sleep scores, anxiously checking their data, and all that anxiety can, ironically, make it harder to sleep. You end up more focused on the numbers than on how you actually feel. Experts warn that this fixation can actually make your sleep quality worse and even lead to insomnia-like symptoms. The pressure to achieve perfect sleep, fueled by these trackers, can be incredibly counterproductive. Beyond these, there are tons of other hacks, from specific food recommendations like eating kiwis before bed, to red light therapy, or using nostril expanders. While some, like using blackout curtains or keeping your room cool, are harmless and helpful, the sheer amount of advice, which is often contradictory, can be overwhelming and just plain stressful. The focus often shifts from actual well-being to a kind of consumerism, pushing expensive gadgets and supplements that might not offer much real benefit. Section 4. The truth. Finding balance in a hype-filled world. So, what's the real truth about sleepmaxxing? It's as complicated. On one hand, the trend definitely shines a spotlight on how critically important sleep is, which is a good thing. Many of the basic practices it promotes, like consistent schedules, a good sleep environment, and limiting stimulants, are scientifically sound and genuinely helpful. If sleepmaxxing gets you to adopt these healthy habits, that's great. However, the maxing part, that obsessive chase for perfection using often unproven, expensive, or even risky techniques, is where the problems pop up. Chasing some idealized version of sleep, often fueled by inaccurate social media posts and questionable hacks, can lead to more anxiety, wasted money, and in some cases, actual harm. Mouth taping has real risks. Using unregulated supplements can be dangerous, and relying too much on sleep trackers can create more stress than solutions. The truth is that there's no magic, one-size-fits-all secret to perfect sleep that you'll find in a viral TikTok video. Real, restorative sleep is usually the result of consistent, kind of boring, evidence-based habits rather than extreme measures. If you genuinely want to improve your sleep, focus on the fundamentals. Consistency. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time each day. Environment. Make your bedroom a sleep haven, cool, dark, quiet, and comfy. Lifestyle. Get regular exercise, but maybe not too close to bedtime. Manage your stress and be mindful of what you eat and drink, especially in the evening. Cut back on caffeine and alcohol. Wind down routine. Create some relaxing pre-sleep rituals. This could be reading a book, gentle stretching, meditation, or a warm bath. Definitely limit screen time before bed. Listen to your body, not an app. Pay attention to how you feel during the day. Are you rested and energetic? That's a much better sign of sleep quality than any sleep score. If you have ongoing sleep problems, the answer isn't to scroll TikTok for more hacks. It's to talk to a healthcare professional. They can help figure out if there are any underlying issues, like sleep apnea or insomnia, and recommend treatments that are actually based on evidence. So what are your thoughts on sleepmaxxing? Have you tried any of these viral techniques? Did they work for you, or did you find them more stressful than helpful? Share your experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you found this breakdown helpful and want to see more investigations into wellness trends, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos. Conclusion. Ultimately, while the idea behind sleepmaxxing, to get better sleep, is a good one, the way it plays out often gets lost in a sea of misinformation, extreme measures, and consumer hype. The hunt for perfect sleep can, paradoxically, lead to more anxiety and worse sleep. Prioritizing your rest is essential, but it's about finding a sustainable, balanced approach that genuinely supports your well-being, not chasing the latest viral sensation. Often, the best hack for good sleep isn't a hack at all, but just a commitment to simple, proven, healthy habits. Don't let the pressure to max out your sleep rob you of the peace that good rest should actually bring. Be critical, stay informed, and when in doubt, always trust science and expert advice over those fleeting internet fads. Thanks for watching, and sleep well, sensibly.